Hello everyone and welcome back to Conquest, where today we are going after somewhere. I should probably go figure out where we're going. Alright, after a little bit of looking around, I think we're going to settle for Caldoria. Caldoria is a waves, which is good because we did an enemy base last time. So let's see why I picked this. Scans indicate that this sector contains no crystalline geodes. The enemy forces cannot be calculated. Take this sector for yourself. No crystalline geodes are present, so we are forced to use slag cooling modes to create obsidian, and it also appears that low-tier tech is unusable here. I don't know what that means, which is why I'm curious, so this is where we're going. And hopefully, since I didn't play last week, my skills have not all but gone down the drain. Let's find out. Okay, so already off rip, I'm concerned. 5 waves total, 34 minutes to prepare. I have a feeling there may be tier 3 or even tier 4s in this sector. So let's take a look at it. It looks to be a pretty small area, which I'm kind of happy about. Larger sectors are cool, but of course they take forever to travel through, and since we only have the tier 1 essence core, it's going to be a long day doing literally anything. So it's good that we don't have a long ways to move. But we got our starting biome here, a decent sand biome, and our only source of water right here. We are definitely going to be wanting to use this huge patch of lignite that I've spotted up here to get water. We've got our obsidian biome kind of wrapping all the way around down to here, which is where I assume the drop point will be. Got a nice barite biome with a very large selection of liquid barite. I don't know if we will be using it though, as that will put a strain on the very small amount of water that we have, but maybe we will, maybe we won't, who knows. And also we've got a tiny little red sand biome up here, which does remind me, I've been a couple updates, rebalancing, and patches and things, and one of them that was peculiarly interesting is the change to the Oasis griddle, wherever it is. These no longer take sand, they take red sand, which is actually a pretty good change because I rarely found myself using these just because it was so annoying to get the sand set up. But since they use red sand, we can definitely afford to do that. The only issue is it's probably going to be right next to the drop zone, so we are going to have to run a big pipe of water over here, griddle them, and then run them back, which I'm not sure if that's going to be A, viable, or B, worth it. It will be for cooling the turrets, though, which is the second thing I need to bring up. Oh god. I think I understand about the low-tier tech now. These are all the turrets that I can have. This is only Crosium, Vesmonium, and Dresden. That makes a whole lot of sense, and also makes sense why we have 35 minutes to prepare. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, one of the recent updates also changed the boost percent to turrets. It is now 124% instead of what I believe was 110% for most of these. So the purified Oasis water requirements will in fact boost the turrets a lot more than they have in the past, which is great. Okay, let's stop yapping and actually get to work here because we're going to need to get everything going as fast as possible, as with the rest of this planet. So let's do it. Alright, basic resources are required. Usually I would continue the time-lapse part until, we have some lodestone and lithium and things like that, but I realized that A, not a whole lot of stuff here. We got more than enough Fahrenheit, but Dematite is looking to be kind of problematic. We do not have a whole lot in general. There's a little bit here, a little bit here. We got some here, but we can't use any of it because of all of this juicy lignite. I'd rather have that. And then we've got a tiny little bit here that we can't use because of the lignite, tiny little bit here, tiny little bit here, and that's really about it for this side of the map. I could run all the way over here and use this, which I might actually do for lithium, but it is kind of crazy that there's not a whole lot over here. And also I realized I did not read this. No crystalline geodes. Use slag cooling modes to create obsidian. You will find one in the bottom left. Do not lose it. This is probably it. Make sure you do not lose this. Use it to create obsidian. You need this. Roger, roger. We are going to do that as soon as we get the other stuff. Alright, back to it. Alrighty, we are back. Our first pieces of lithium should be coming in. We got a pretty okay-ish factory over here. I mean, it's alright, but that's fine. And we've got another little bit of lodestone getting mixed up down here. I'm going to go throw down the last 3 that I can fit because I mined a grand total of 6 Fahrenheit. And I want to get as much lodestone as physically possible. Unfortunately for me, since we do not have the advanced pipes, we really cannot afford to build the transverse pipelines over here to actually transport this all in one go, which is slightly unfortunate, but I mean, there's not really much that I can do about that. Anyways, we should now be going at full speed once I get the rest of the drills in place here. There we go. That should be pretty good. Now, I have noticed that Fahrenheit is rather problematic, but I mean, I've gathered as much as I can, so there really is not much I can do about it. Okay, now we do have this slag cooling mold, and we are going to have to plug it in basically instantaneously. If I remember correctly, this takes 60 power, which we are going to have to get from lignite because we have no other way of getting power at the moment other than building solar panels. But why would we do that when we have 2 vents right here and nothing else to use them for? Because, yeah, pressure. We don't really need that for geode cracking because there aren't any. So we're going to throw down the old standard 3 turbines, 2 pressure turbines, make turbines power the turbines setup. Make sense? And this should actually run enough to run 2 slag cooling molds once we have enough to build another one, which we do because they gave us 15 chromium out of the kindness of their hearts, of course. So, yeah, let's get some water. Now, the real question is how much do these actually take of water? It's 12 water and 30 slag, which translates to 3 pumps and 10 pumps, which is not too bad. Now, I would, of course, like to use the exothermic ones, and since we do have the resources, that might just be a great idea considering all of this up here. Yeah, we might just do it. And eventually, I'd like to chuck in a discharge quarry straight in here and get 5.25. That would be great, but for now, that's obviously not going to work, so we're going to go settle with the friction quarries. All right, and there we go. Looks like we now have some obsidian. Perfect. Now, I am going to have to run this through a normal pipe here, which is a bit unfortunate because we're currently lacking on everything. That's completely to be expected, but still. And there we go. We should be getting in a solid 4 obsidian per second because that's how much these make. It's 3. Every single time I get that wrong. Anyways, 3 obsidian per second is perfect, and we are instantly going to upgrade all of our basic resource production because we desperately need it. Okay. All right, there we go. Now, unfortunately, Dematite, we really can't upgrade it too heavily. We could put like 2 of them by 2 drills and then 1 3 up here, which I think we're just going to have to settle for. Unfortunately, there's just not a whole lot of Dematite in the area, and we really just can't afford to overlap our lignite because of how important it is. Although, we do have a nice 5 patch down there, plus another one here. We're doing that instead. Much better. Upgraded pipes and more Dematite are available. Perfect. And I probably should have focused a little bit more on more Fahrenheit, but to be fair, we've got plenty of vents around here. I have noticed that about this sector. There's a lot of vents, and I am always a fan of that. If we ever do need to upgrade Fahrenheit again, we can, of course, make some more. So I think we're going to be doing pretty well on the rest of those. I think the next thing we need to do is probably upgrade Obsidian, mostly because Obsidian is very useful for basically everything, and we do have the capacity to run another slag cooling mold with this power, so I think we're going to, and we may as well put it probably right here. That makes sense, because then we can just take routers off of all of these, and a simple connector node will do just fine for powering it. May as well take the opportunity to upgrade this pipe as well, even though we are only making 6 total. Okay, there we go. And so now these should be consuming all of this water pump right there. Perfect. Next up is Chromium, because we do want to get more slag cooling modes, because that's very important, especially for Chromium production, which we need to make turrets, because that is currently a limiting factor. We do not have access to any other turrets. Now, the real question is we're making 6 obsidian per second at the moment. 1 Chromium infuser takes 1.33, so I don't really want to nerf my obsidian too bad, so I think we're just going to stick with 2 of these. For now. Of course, we will be upgrading this later, but 2 is going to do just fine for now. Now, there are enough vents over here to run all eventual 3 of these, but I think instead I'm going to stick with the old pressure schematics that I got going on here, mostly because this also generates a little bit of power. And we are going to need that in the initial part to actually, kickstart these, because these take 120 power per second. That's kind of more than I have available to me right now. So this is what we're going to settle with. We are seriously lacking on lodestone, so I probably should have upgraded that first. But, I mean, what can you do? I've already started building, right? Alrighty, there we go. Just a little bit of Chromium up and running. Next up, upgrade the lodestone. We desperately need it now. Holy dude. Okay, now we're probably just going to have to rebuild it entirely somewhere else so we don't mess up the current setup, as you do. Alright, we're going to go with the standard 3 of these. Alrighty, there we go. Our lodestone basins are up and running. Now we get to tear out this entire setup to reclaim some lodestone because we kind of need it. So now that we've got that, we probably will want to go upgrade our chromium. Now that we actually have, some source of lodestone, we can upgrade power. And by upgrade, I mean actually build it, which is going to be quite nice. And then once we get that, we can, of course, get our chromium in place, get some more slag cooling molds in, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. Basically, upgrading everything. And, I have noticed it is kind of great that this sector is the way that it is because it gives me a lot of time to prepare infrastructure, which is apparently the only thing that I know how to do. Is anyone surprised? Not really. All right, well, there's our power schematic going in. It's going to take forever to build, but then chromium will be done. I probably should have upgraded some of the coolers first, but I mean, whatever. What are you going to do? I've already placed them down. It's fine. Okay, another thing to note, I'm probably going to chuck down 2 more coolers. That's another singular pump of this stuff, and then once we have this, I really just called water this stuff, didn't I? And once we got that done, we will, of course, run straight down to barite and grab some barite. That is the next step. And once we have that, we could probably transition straight into building a Vesmonium and a Vesmonium occulter. We can chuck down a nice power schematic, and we can use all of the lignite that is gloriously sitting right over here to power our Vesmonium occulters. And of course, Drayson. I think since we do have 20 minutes left and we're doing pretty good so far, we probably will have enough time to set up Drayson turrets, and we will be ammoing them with Drayson because that is an incredibly strong ammo source. So that's what we're going to do. I also probably need to throw some more water into here because I don't think we're making enough. All right, there we go. More obsidian has been acquired. I don't really know why I did that. Now that I'm thinking about it, it probably would have been better to make more chromium. Maybe I should do that. I don't know where we're going to put it. I don't know where we're going to get the water for it, but maybe we should do that. Let's get lithium first. We are currently lacking. We have almost none. So let's go over the lithium land and upgrade that. And then I think we're going to go get more chromium. Chromium is going to be a pretty valuable resource, I have a feeling. Or maybe we just sack that off and just assume that we made a bunch of obsidian for fun and then go get some Vesmonium and barite. Yeah, that's going to be a better idea. Let's do that. Okay, well, maybe I am not doing this in a correct order now, am I? All right, we're going to make a mistake here and make the exact same mistake that I make every single time I do lithium and take the thing out before I actually build the thing to get the new obsidian. This is such a bad idea, and I do this every time, and yet I'm still doing it, so haha. And I'd really like to take this moment to thank this stupid tree right here for ruining literally everything. Why are you there? Why do you exist? If you were seriously a single block further down, everything would have been fine. But no, we don't do that here. We're going to make things super annoying for no reason at all. All right, there we go. That should be one half of this going. Now that we actually have some lithium, we can, of course, get our second one in place. Now, we are going to have to get some more lodestone. But, of course, we do have to wait for the lithium to actually get over there now, which is going to take half a year. So that's just great. I guess in this time we can probably plan out how we're going to actually get barite here. I might just chuck down a 360 power schematic over here. Not really the ideal solution, but I mean, we're going to need to run a bunch of very power intensive, machines, aka the abrasion quarries. 120, and then of course the quern, which takes 60, so that's 300. So one 360 schematic would be able to do it just fine. Of course, that's kind of expensive, as they always are, but whatever, man. There's not much I can do about it. All right, but there we go. 8 lithium per second now generating. Perfect. Okay, we have 15 minutes. That is enough time to get everything. We need to instantaneously drop whatever we're doing at 5 minutes and go build defenses. Mostly because it's going to take forever for my little core unit to build anything. And unfortunately, we are lacking on the lithium front, so we can't upgrade to a substratum just yet. So, yeah, we're going to have to kind of pick this up here. Let's make some power and get some barite. Now, oddly enough, we don't actually need barite for making half of these turrets, although we do need to get Vesmonium, so that's what we're going to go for. And there we go, barite acquired. Now, I think what I should have done with this lake instead of what I actually did, I really should have just crammed the thing full of little pumps. And that's what I'm going to do, at least on this side. Yeah, that's going to be a decent amount of water, and we can basically just spread this around to wherever it needs to go. I think I should have just done this initially. Yeah, this would have been a way smarter idea. Of course, lodestone was an issue back then, so I guess that's why I didn't, but running water this way is usually just simpler and easier than everything else. Yeah, there we go. We have a very large supply of water down here in the barite biome. I wonder what I could be doing with this. Yeah, that should do 0.66 times 10, so 6.6 barite per second. Perfect. Now, of course, this will be overflowed into, you guessed it, Vesmonium. Now, last episode, I'm fairly certain I was confused. The Vesmonium occulter here, since it has the 900% boost, which is actually 225% boost. It does actually take more barite and more lignite, and I think someone in the comments did a calculation. If I remember correctly, it was 6.72 for one of these, so either the entirety of this barite goes into this, or my math is wrong, and honestly, I'm fine with either happening. So let's build some Vesmonium here. Luckily, we have basically everything that we need over here. Now, hopefully, I can actually get a decent amount of lignite out of this. I am, again, too lazy to build power because it takes so long, and abrasion quarries are just extremely power intensive. Technically, I could have built that solar panel schematic and ran 3 of them, but honestly, I don't know, whatever. I think this is going to be just fine. It's fine if it's slightly inefficient. It's not like I was going to use it for anything else anyways. And there we go. That should be the Vesmonium occulter kick-started and up and running. And it looks like I put the wrong gate right there. We want an overflow. They will all go into here. Perfect. Vesmonium has been acquired at 225%. That 1.2 per second times whatever that is. So that's like 4-ish. That's pretty good. Okay. Now, since we have 1,000 lithium now, let's go ahead and upgrade to substratum. I'm going straight to substratum and not the other one because this is an attack sector, so there's no point in getting more unit capacity. We don't need that. I'd rather have the advanced build speed. Okay, perfect. So we're getting Vesmonium now, and the first course of action is we're going to be splitting off basically all of it. And by all of it, I think I mean about 2. And we're going to be shoving that into 2 Dresden crucibles to get around 1 per second. I don't know where we're going to put these because we also do need 2 vents worth of nitrogen, which that's why I got the extra obsidian. I knew I needed that for something. It's so we can run nitrogen synthesizers. And look, there's 2 right there. Perfect. Now, we are going to be cutting this very close. We have about 7.5 minutes before the wave starts showing up. Can we get Dresden in time? I have a feeling we can. Let's do this. Nitrogen is in place, everything is going well, 6 minutes, 57 seconds. It's going to take a while to build the Dresden crucibles though, so we probably should get those going. And also we're going to need heat, 12 units. Lignite burner, 3 heat, we can get 10.5, which is what we're going to do because we have not used this lignite yet. 2 lignite burners plus a solar panel here and there should be able to supply all of these with 150% boost at a much smaller form factor, which is kind of what we're going for right now. So let's put one of them over here, right there, and then we can put the other one like here-ish, maybe over here. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, it appears I've ran into another problem that I didn't see coming, but I should have. These things take a stupid amount of power. As a matter of fact, 360 per. That's kind of a lot. Plus we are only getting, 10.5 heat, so we need to chuck a solar panel, which makes 2 into the side of each of these, which should supply it with 15 extra power on top of the solar panel schematic that I'm about to build. Now, I also could throw down a quick diffusion reactor, which might be the better idea because we only really need 1 of them. 30 heat, which is kind of painful. We could get that with 3 lignite burners, which is actually not a horrible idea. Can I get 1.5 out of this? Yes, I can. Matter of fact, I can get more than that. Okay, we're going to be doing that. We are cutting it very, very close on the time now. I'm getting a little concerned. Ugh, this is not good. Oh my god, I also don't even have the Vesmonium going in here yet. Oh god. But luckily, we are going to be making a stupid amount of power with this, so I think our best bet is going to run that power all the way over to the defensive area and run some Tralux for the first wave. I think that's going to be hopefully more than enough, but I also don't have super high hopes for that. I don't know, this is gonna get really sketchy really quickly. Okay, well that's a mess, but I think it's gonna work. Yeah, also we probably need to do that. There we go. Okay, so now this should be getting some heat, and as you can see, it is slightly, less efficient considering we don't have all these heat redirectors built, but we are currently cooking, so we're going to have power here in a second. Actually, we do have enough as of exactly right now to connect one of these together, and I'm going to. Let's get that going first. That is what we need. Let's go ahead and chuck down a couple more of these, get everything connected together. We want this stuff as soon as possible. Now, of course, we are going to have to filter out all of the Vesmonium, so let's do that now. Yep, and there we go. Power has been connected. We are running a pretty solid, I think, 1 Dresden per second, because this does boost to about 0.5. Which is pretty good, but also not a whole lot, so that's going to be problematic. But you know what? It's fine. It looks like we are not doing too well on this stuff front, and it looks like this is not getting output at all, which is concerning. Okay, so we may have to move this to here. and then run this like this. We're going to go run a power node from here all the way over to the defense. Maybe I can sneak it up here instead of going all the way up and around, and then we can build some Tralux. So let's try to get over there as soon as possible, because we're going to need to. It also never occurred to me to actually check if the drop zone's down here. That would probably be an important thing to do. Okay, good. Not a whole lot of Dresden. As a matter of fact, it looks like it stopped working. What's going on? Oh, yeah, because I did not put an output on this one. Okay, well, we're a little bit too late to fix that, so we're just going to have to go with it for now. I'm thinking, since this is wave 1 and there's only 2 minutes left, I'm going to go bring the power cable all the way down here. This little bottleneck right here is going to have to do for our defense, and since there is literally nowhere else to go, we can actually fully wall this off, and they will have to fight at the wall. That is extremely annoying. Why does it have to be an odd number of tiles? That sucks. Okay, but there we go. We should just be able to plug in the wall like this. No concerns at all. And then we can put down a couple of Tralux, and that should be able to hold out. Now, I might just want to chuck in a couple of obsidian walls just as backup, just in case. Might as well, right? But, of course, we will build those after we build the 3 Tralux. I hope 3 is enough. That's like 150 of my Vesmonium. And also, we probably should put in a Mender. So let me move that one back, and we can chuck down a Mender right here. Hopefully this is enough. I'm actually getting a little concerned that it won't be. Alright, yep, there we go. Now, we may as well also throw in a force field. We can set it up right there. That would be a perfect spot for it. And hopefully we will have enough power to power all this. If we don't, I may want to go chuck in some batteries. Let's go ahead and do that, but let's do that over here, somewhere where we can actually put them in without having to worry about the enemies breaking through and destroying all of our battery banks. How about right about here? Yep, we'll just do that for now while I figure out why we're not getting any Dresden, probably because I forgot to plug things in. And also this one doesn't have nitrogen because I never plugged obsidian in. Yeah, that would probably do it. Let me go fix those problems first. How about... Oh, so here I was trying to fix things, and I thought I heard some weird noises. Yeah, hey guys, the wave's here. As you can see, we've got a bunch of tier 3s, some tier 4s back here, we got some tier 3s over here, and here's our defense. Huh. I wonder how that happened. Well, that can't be good. I wonder what we're gonna do about that. Huh. Well, I forgot that we were in fact fighting the enemies.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
Well then, I think this time we're going to focus a little bit harder on getting things going faster and maybe not messing up the factory lines as much as I did last time. So here we go. Let's do this for real this time. Alrighty, well, we are back. That was a solid 30 minutes of preparation because that is how long the waves are. As you can see over here, the defense is, I want to say, much beefier this time around. We don't have as many Trailuxes, but we do have 2 of them. We also have a Purified Oasis water-cooled Myriad with Vesmonium ammo. Same thing for the Concite. We also have a nice Commodite up here, same thing, Vesmonium ammo, and we have a water-cooled Varite, which we are going to, actually plug in some pressure to right now, because, yeah, kind of forgot you need pressure for these. That's fine. And I did manage to pause with 1 second left before the enemies get here, so I'm not sure if this Varite is going to be in the game by the time that they get here, but who knows? Anyways, I basically just did the exact same thing that I did last time with a little bit of improvements to everything. Instead of running another power over here for the Vesmonium Occulter, I just took out the drills and used this power. So we're getting a solid however much Varite. This is Vesmonium. That was I hate everything. Vesmonium, we're getting that perfectly fine, and then we're running it up in here into 2 of these Dresden Crucibles. I did realize that I could overclock these. I kind of forgot about that, but that's okay. We are still getting a pretty good amount of Dresden. I will be coming back over here and adding more heat to these if I can figure out a way to fit it in here. I think we have enough lignite to just put down another burner. I don't know where they're going to go, but they're going to go somewhere, and then that'll increase the speed of those as well. Other than that, it's basically the exact same as last time, except faster, and I did go ahead and use the small pumps for a water source just because it's way more convenient that way. All right, well, let's go ahead and see if we can actually take out this first wave here with the stuff that we've got. Yeah, there is a lot of units there, and I am a little concerned that we won't be able to take it out even with all of this, but I guess we're about to find out here. They've already taken the force field down, but luckily we do have some more advanced turrets now, so hopefully they'll actually be able to destroy everything. They're still getting through, which is insane, by the way. Oh my god. No way we lose already. There's 2 enemies left. Please tell me those 2 turrets I have over there can take them out. I'm beginning to believe those turrets are no longer there. You're kidding me. Okay, well that thing is, you think you can take a shot? Come on, come on. I'm wasting time by watching this, but I really want to see. Okay, it did hit, but we need to get back to the core right now and defend. Emergency maneuver here, and we're going to cut off that. We are going to reroute this power, and we are going to put down a Commodite. Now, I know you have to heat this thing, but not to worry. I am going to figure out a way to get lignite over to here, and we're just going to chuck down 2 burners. I don't even care. Come on, come on, come on. We got to build this like now. They're getting really close. Oh my god. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. We've got some heat. It's at 6. We can increase that by just chucking down a couple of those. It's at 9. Hopefully that Commodite will be able to take out these tanks. As long as it's shooting at me and not the turret, it shot at the turret. I still lost. Oh my god, dude. What is up with these enemies? I don't think I could have prepared any faster than that. That's absolutely insane. What? Alright, I'm giving this one more attempt. If I can't beat it this time, then we're giving up. Wish me luck. I obviously need it. Okay, shut up intro, we're going. Okay, I think this is a pretty good time to come back. We've got 11 minutes left, and we are currently at the point where we have made Vesmonium. Now, the thing I did differently this time, I committed straight to making 1 diffusion reactor to power the entire base instead of building all of these solar panel schematics everywhere. This is probably the greatest decision that I have ever made. We are up super high on time, 11 minutes. By this point, it's usually about 6. So I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, we are going to have to be making some Dresden here in a second, which is the next thing we're going to do. But since we already have power for it, we don't even have to build the schematic, which is great. All we have to do is plop all the resources down and we are done. And I messed up the lithium factory. I tried to build it without having Chromium, so that was kind of stupid. I had to build like a temporary jank Chromium setup just to get a little bit so I could build the lithium. So we even lost a little bit of time, but we are still up. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, I think this time, instead of doing 2 Dresden Crucibles, I'm just going to do 1 that's going to be boosted. I keep building the nitrogen things over the vents here to boost them, and then never do. So we definitely should, actually boost the nitrogen this time and make the boosted Dresden Crucible. Hopefully by the point that I actually have this done, we should have enough to build more turrets. I think I'm going to chuck down like more Commodites, and I think we are going to continue ammoing everything with Vesmonium. I think that's going to be our best option. So let's try to get the rest of this in place here so we can actually survive this time, hopefully. There we go, 150%. That should be just fine. Let's go ahead and grab some Vesmonium from here. And there we go. We now have some Dresden. Perfect. At 9 minutes, we have Dresden, and everything else is pretty good as well. Now, the only issue is we are lacking a little bit on the Vesmonium. I'm wondering why that's the case. Is this thing running at full efficiency? It totally is, so it is just rather slow. Okay, well, that's to be expected. But now we have a solid 9 minutes to build up our defense, which is a lot longer than we did originally. So let's go ahead and start now. All right, well, first order of business now that we're over here is we are going to, of course, grab some water with the new Oasis water griddles. I say new, it's more like newly upgraded, I guess. Yeah, but it looks like we got some nasty trees in the way this time, so I think we're going to have to definitely move the defense back a bit. So I think what we're going to do this time, we are going to do the wall strat. We're going to make like a wall this way, and then hopefully they will die before they get past that part because this is where our water is coming from. Okay, so maybe that's not a good idea. This tree spawn right here and these two, horrific. This is like really bad. Like, come on, that is right in the middle of where I place everything this time. Like, come on, man. All right, fine, whatever. I guess we'll just place down a whole bunch of everything again like we usually do. Now, you know what else I could do? I could just put a bunch of really, really beefy turrets, and then we just wall spam the whole thing. That's very tempting, you know. I might just do it. Okay, but before we do that, let's consider what we're going to use as ammo. I'm thinking we're going to use Vesmonium again. We do have a good 7.5 minutes to prep everything. So why don't we go ahead and do another of that, and then we're going to take a router and we're going to send one of the router things back in, and then 2 of the outputs are going to be going into a loading base station. So all of the Vesmonium that we have extra that isn't getting turned into Dresden Crucible, 2/3 of it are going to go into ammo and 1/3 is going to go back into the core. I think that's a pretty good ratio, I suppose. Obviously not for the core very much, but we're not going to be using a whole lot of this. I mean, some of these do take it. Actually, none of the Dresden things take Vesmonium, so it's only the Tralux, and that should be a base station in, and we are going to go ahead and head back over there and start building. 7 minutes. I think we got this time, surely. Alright, you know what? I think I've decided we're just gonna do it again. I'm just gonna spam 500,000 walls of literally whatever I can, and then just hope nothing gets through and put a bunch of beefy turrets up here that should hopefully take everything out before they get close. I think for the turret of choice this time, I'm going to put 1 project, mostly because these are stupidly expensive, 100 Dresden, but we should be able to put that right here, and this only takes pressure to operate. It does not take heat, which is significantly easier to get. So we will go ahead and put that right here, and then I'm going to wall it off all the way up to here with various walls of various types, and then it should be able to hit all the way over to like here. So if I build the walls to here, everything will just kind of start pile driving through the wall, but get obliterated by this project here, and that should be good. And also, project can now be cooled by water. I don't think this was a thing last update or last video. And 124% increase, which means instead of 0.25, it should be like 0.3 something. So that'll be a nice increase. All right, and I've also got 2 barrier projectors in this time. They are also boosted by Vesmonium. I'm not really sure what the Vesmonium boost does, but we do have it now because we kind of need it. I think I'm also going to go ahead and... Ooh, I can't swap that out, but I can swap one of these shielded walls here for a Dresden wall. I might even just want to swap out all of the Vesmonium walls at the front here for Dresden walls. That's kind of expensive. Maybe let's not do that. We'll just have the one, and we'll add some extra shielding to it. And then this will slow everything down. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start spamming turrets everywhere, because that's really the only thing that I can do. And also probably throw in either another project or maybe a Commodite this time. And maybe the Commodite can go over here. Okay, so the first wave is about to get here in 2 seconds. This is the defense as of right now. I do need to throw in a router right there to get these all cooled. Okay, I'm working on another project. We unfortunately did not get it in time. But we've got everything ammoed up. We do have 1 project active, 4 Concite, 5 Myriad, 2 Tralux, which I have not turned around. I don't think it's going to be worth doing at this point. And I did not also throw in a bunch of walls up here, so I should probably go do that right now. Alright, wave is here. Bad news for me. Let's try to get as many of these barite walls in here as possible. We might as well. Okay, looks like we didn't get very many, but that's fine. Even just a tiny little bit of damage soaked up is better than nothing. Okay, please die out this time. I beefed this up extremely heavily. Come on. Okay, we did actually manage to survive that, and we only lost a single projector walls. I am very surprised. Go ahead and heal all these up here and rebuild everything. All right, we actually survived the first wave. I am very impressed. And we didn't even have the Commodite going either, because apparently there's just no lignite for whatever reason. Oh yeah, because I never built the conveyor. Okay, well that would probably help. And there we go, now we have a Commodite with no ammo in it. Yep, that also would probably be a thing that we should do. Anyways, we now can build up our second project. I'm fairly certain this thing did a pretty substantial amount of damage, although I can't really prove that. I also realized I probably should throw in a battery bank. We are yet to do that. Now we've got about 18 seconds before the next wave gets here. I would have liked to throw in some more barite walls, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make it back over there in time before these batteries are done being built up. So I think we're just going to have to hope that this can hold out for this wave. And as a matter of fact, I already don't, so we're going to go back, walk back over here. Yeah, okay. This could be potentially bad. There's a Guardian in 2 waves. That is wave 5, and there are 20 enemies here. Do we have anything extremely beefy? A bunch of tier 4s, but no tier 5s just yet. So we may just survive this. We also do have the Concites now up and running. That's good, and it looks like we are doing pretty well, actually. I think these projects are absolutely obliterating right now. As well as the Commodites. Please? Oh yeah, perfect. They didn't even get through some of these barite walls. So let's go ahead and tear them down and then probably build some more while that we're over here, right? That makes sense. We might run out of barite, but honestly, that is not my concern. And you know what? We have a whole bunch of chromium as well, so in they go. And then we can go get some batteries back up. Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. Wave number 4 is here. There are 21 enemies, and we have the boss next wave. I did get another project in place. I'm working on another Commodite and one more project. I'm going to focus on the project first, obviously. And we have, of course, some more walls down here. Hopefully this will be fine. Do we have anything super crazy? We do have a tier 5 mech here, which is the Apex. I lied, that is a crest. Anyways, there is a crest here, so we are going to have to deal with that. Hopefully we should have everything set up and ready to do that. It is kind of annoying that all these guys are going to punch a hole first, and then the crest is going to get here. That is a kind of annoying, and it's got a really nasty flamethrower, and that front-facing shield, I'm pretty sure that is new now. And we do not want that thing to be, you know, shielded like that. So I'm going to go sit in this corner. It's going to attempt to shoot me, and the Commodite are going to hit it from the side. Perfect. That worked out excellently. Now, we did lose almost every single wall in here, which is not good. So we are going to have to rebuild all of that, and we do not have a whole lot of barite to go around, so that might be a kind of a problem. I'm not sure. Let's see what we can do, but you know what, since we do have so much Vesmonium, why don't I just cut out all of these and then just chuck in Vesmonium in their place? We do have 2 minutes and 17, so let me just go ahead and pause the wall quick, and let's go ahead and get this project built up first. This is going to be the priority. If we have 4 of these going, this is going to be quite devastating for the enemy, hopefully. Assuming they don't have an Anectodon, I didn't even consider that. Oh, that could be really bad. Imagine they have one and it just starts like driving through our defense. Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it. Okay, let's continue building the wall and pretend like that's going to be completely fine. You know what? If I had to guess, I feel like there would be one. But, I mean, I guess we'll find out in a minute 30. But if there ever was a sector to have one, it would be this. All right, here we go. 1 second to go. Final defenses. Let's take a look. We got 3 Commodites. We got 4 Project. I've even got a Dresden wall up in the front here. I realized that you have to power these. Completely forgot that was the thing. Unfortunately, this one will not be powered, but this one will be. I did not have enough time to get the Chromium walls up in here. All right, but that is pretty good. I think that is about the best we can get, so here we go. Here's to hoping we don't immediately die. Oh, dear God, my frames are dying. It looks to be 2 tier 5 air. And, yep, that's an Anectodon. Yep. That is bad. That is extremely, extremely bad. Okay, what do we do? I don't think there's much I can do other than just kind of hope. And maybe try to just, like, spam repair. Guardian health is going down. We're not doing too bad. It's only the Anectodon left. Okay, let me just make sure that I can actually see what's going on. I can no longer rebuild, so we're just going to have to hope that this holds out. That thing's shield is still up, but luckily we have so many Commodite that it didn't matter. Why is there... What are you doing? Are you kidding me? Why are you just sitting there? Hello? Man, I can't believe that thing ruined my quip at the end there. I was like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. And then we didn't even capture the sector because this guy's just taking a bath in the lava lake. What are you doing? Okay, right. It just doesn't want to move, I guess. Cool. What do we do about that? Is it a trap or something? Is it like waiting for me to go over there and it's just gonna summon another Anectodon, or what's it doing? Like, yeah, it's just sitting there. Like, okay, bro, you good? Well, I think there's only one solution to this problem. All right, well, hopefully this will work. Anytime now. There we go. You missed. Okay. Okay, well, there we go. That was a very anticlimactic ending to the sector. That little guy who was just sitting there completely ruined my quip at the end there. Well, there you have it. Sector captured after that shenaniganry. I won't lie, this was a pretty difficult sector, and I think that's just because I've gotten so ingrained into thinking that power is such a huge problem that I never deal with it. And as it turns out, if you deal with the problem, things get better. Who would have thought? Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. Next time, since we did a wave sector this time, it'll be an enemy base. I don't know which one. I guess you'll just have to find out next time. Goodbye.